like you, who can, willing to go there and just to open up and be more spiritual, and so a totally different generation than, let's say, my generation or older. It's harder for them to open up like that. It's just not part of their sort of DNA. It is, but it's harder. It was not. Don't you agree?
Yes, I
find
agree
it
with you.
very interesting. So I would much rather, and oftentimes I am with a lot of younger people. Conversations are way more interesting, usually.
Yeah.
Just more
I think
evolved.
maybe back in the day too, because like my parents both grew up on farms and just hard work, hard family, hard times, just out in the rural New Brunswick, and I think it's because it's hard. It's like, so everyone's having kids, and you hopefully, if you can teach them in a good way, they'll make hopefully less of the mistakes that you've already told them about, and so they kind of get the ball running, and then if like I can imagine the goal would be that they're better than you.
Yes.
If it all goes well. And so if that is actually what's happening generation after generation, then that's like human evolution, right? But then also I think the circumstances in which people find themselves in life, because especially back in the day when there's way less people, way less communication, way less information, people were doing back-breaking labor, men and women all the time. It was crazy.
You didn't have as much time for self-reflection, really, too.
But then you also didn't have other distractions too. Like life might have been quieter and simpler, and we gotta till the field, we gotta grow those crops, we gotta have the family healthy, and then wars would break out. It's just a certain kind of I think the time and point in history that we grew up in has a lot to do with who we are too. And so I'm sure it's some sort of mix of that, and probably some other things I don't know about, but
no, I think you're right. It's like each generation does get more emotionally intelligent. I feel like that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I agree with
you. I feel like my kids are just little spiritual little beings, like really open and crystal clear. Don't they call that the indigo kids? And then there's like different little generations. Like I don't know what we are, but the indigo kids, and then the next one is the crystal kids or something, and they're a little more, even more expansive and more heart centered. Like really in touch with their emotions. And you're probably like an indigo kid, I would think. You're like more, like really into like just up here, like.
Well, that's also expansive. A lot of. I mean, there's also just I've been kind of going backwards more, or not. I shouldn't say backwards. I've been studying more Western psychology again, and there's good evidence for these like big 5 personality traits, and they're quite biologically instantiated, and obviously people are transforming as they age, but you guys must know from having kids that their little personalities start to develop early, and it's like I'm sure it's like the kid had that on the go, came out prepackaged, hardwired out of the box, ready to roll with that kind of personality, whether they're really extroverted or introverted or shy or want to go out and play and venture and they're a handful, or maybe they're slightly more aggressive than another kid, and so apparently openness to experience is another one of these big 5 traits, and man, my rap about this is so incomplete right now because I'm foggy on my studies, but I mean, there's all sorts of different you could see evolutionary utility in perhaps being more open to experience, because the people who were more open to experience back when we were like monkeys in trees or living in caves and having fires and would be more willing to go out and explore, and there's dangers out in the world, but there's also treasures and resources, and so but then also people higher in neuroticism sometimes, just born that way, where it's almost like some people feel more pain per unit of negative experience perhaps, and then and whereas like one person might have something happen to them and they'll just roll off their back like nothing, and it might cripple another person. And but being hypersensitive to danger and negative experience could be evolutionary. So it's like basically the point I'm trying to get at is this seems like we just have nature is so smart and being able to produce so many different types of human beings that we're all able to hopefully find the hole where we fit into the world best, and then if it went well. But I mean, people are born into abusive families, and there's like just 10 million things people are got on their plate all the time too, and I think it's a miracle that anything goes as well as it goes. It's crazy.
I say that too sometimes. I'm like, it's just a miracle we get born at all, really. When you start to think of all the processes that need to go just right for us to actually become
Yeah.
be alive. You know, it's sort
We're
of
all part of this
mind-blowing.
unbroken chain of
Yes.
biological
Isn't that
reproduction.
amazing?
Yeah.
So that's why it feels so intelligent. It's like, it's got to be doing it. I don't know. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any advice for if anyone's listening who is thinking about being a yoga teacher, or just maybe has? It's.
Oh my gosh, it's the most rewarding thing, other than being a mom. Like, I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. I mean,
Some cliches are super true.
super true. Yeah, like every morning in my gratitude meditations, just the first thing I think of is being a mom for sure. Of my 3 beautiful kids, but then also like yoga has been really transformed my whole life. And being able to teach it, and just it's helped me peel away the layers. Like so amazing. It's like therapy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
It's therapy to teach it.
Yeah.
It's therapy to do it. It's like just real time exploration. It's just a work in progress. So I would recommend it to anyone who is interested in peeling away some layers, and being real.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I had a moment in my yoga teacher training with one of my teachers, Quilly Marsh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's my teacher too.
Yeah, and she's phenomenal. And she was watching me teach the class, and she stopped, and she likes to get down on her knees too, and she wants you to get on her knees. She wants to face you. She's so intensely present when she's with you. And she said, Tori, right now you are a bird in a cage, and you don't realize that you can stick your little arm out and open the cage and let yourself out.
You thought you were locked in there.
You did. And it was the biggest. It was like, what? I had no clue. Like, I had no clue I was operating like this before,
Because it takes someone else also
It
to
does.
see it in you. It's the same thing. Like, I had this always an underlying feeling of not being deserving of really anything. Like, it was a real childhood, like, I don't know if I was born into it or what, but I really believed it. It was like, what do they say? A belief is a thought that you just keep thinking, right? So it's like, it's just something you just kept thinking. I was like, it didn't even occur to me that I was deserving. Like, it's just an old pattern. Anyway, but when someone points it out to you and they're like, anyone who deserves more, it's like, but you just need to be told.
You do.
And then this teacher training, so Quelly is really amazing too, but I did some with Philip. Have you done with Philip or so?
Yeah.
Same thing. You get in front of the room and it's petrifying because you're in front of so many people, but they really force you to stand there and he'll stop it midway and be like, okay. Like, same thing, get on the floor, or like, look at this person. This is where I learned that. It's like, when you feel a little overwhelmed, it's just you and that person. Go talk to that person. It's just a conversation. Basically, you're just having a conversation with a bunch of people. And it's the most beautiful conversation you're ever going to have every time. And it's true. It's just a feedback loop. It's like, here you go. Here's this conversation you're having with this person. It's just words coming out of your mouth. You're guiding them. But it's such a beautiful conversation. So that's the one thing I really appreciate about it, is that that's why you feel so filled up. It's like, I've just had all this energy exchange. It's not just a one-way street, it's both ways. Yeah. So
I say that to new teachers all the time. It's a conversation.
Yes.
You have no idea what they're going to tell you what to say, because they're talking to you. You need to listen.
Exactly.
They tell you what to say. It's a conversation. They say something,
and
you say something.
They're not actually saying it, but you're energetically saying it.
Yes, with their bodies or with their breath, the way they're holding themselves.
Their face.
You're just watching, though. You just become so good at observing and listening.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we're getting close to an hour, so maybe we should plug some social media and plug your studio and
sure.
promote yourselves.
Okay, follow us at On the Mat Halifax. That's our handle on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and visit us at onthemat.ca. And come see us. Just come see us.
Cork and Oxford.
Yeah.
Amazing. I have an Instagram too, yogaon.jo.
Yogaon.jo.
Yogaon, which is the name of my company.
Yogaon.jo.
Yogaon.jo.
Okay.
For a while I called it
Don't do yoga on Joe. But she'll bring yoga to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you teach anywhere else other than here?
I do. You know what? Actually, you were the only. I noticed because I put that on social media this week. It's like my 2 public classes this week really were here. So I really only teach the 2 with you, and then I teach prenatal and postnatal publicly at Therapeutic Approach on Quimple, which is like my home studio where I first did my teacher training.
And where you do teacher training.
Where I do teacher training as well, 500-hour program there. And then I teach a lot of private. So I'm a contract person. I sign contracts with the hospital, schools, sporting teams, like the Mooseheads are my clients.
Cool.
Other professional athletes when they're home in the summertime. Tori and I both do that, like with different athletes and different teams. Hockey teams all winter. So I'm busy, but publicly I only teach here and so it's
Right
really
on.
great.
Do you have a website or anything for all that?
I do. It's called yogaon.ca. www.yogaon.ca. Not yogaon.jo.
Yeah.
That's just my handle. It's a very simple website. yogaon.ca.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Taryn. You are
Oh,
just
thank
a
you guys.
gem.
So
No worries. That's awesome.
Such a
Thank you
pleasure.
guys. Do it again sometime.
We will.
I love to.
All right. Goodbye.